Hi, welcome to
Hello.
week eight, week seven.
Seven.
I
Seven.
can't. So it's halfway over officially, officially half
Yeah, 15 weeks. I think we got a
of
pick,
the
so
actual before we
we're
go into
we're
bowl
there.
and playoff and all that fun stuff, right? Oh, we have 15 weeks of it?
We have
Oh, I
15
didn't know.
weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So almost, almost.
almost. We're about
All
there.
right. Well, how should we talk briefly about last week?
I'll try to be brief. Yes.
Last week
Hold
was,
on. What happened? Well, one game we didn't pick, UCLA beat Penn State.
yeah, can we talk about that for a second?
Uh,
What does that
that's
mean? What does it mean, Jared? I don't
it
know.
means the Big Ten is overrated.
Is a
Like
fraud?
I wouldn't even say fraud. I just think look, Big Ten's good. Like I'm not
Yeah.
debating that. They have great teams, but to put them on a pedestal,
Mm,
no. Like
hmm
if Penn State can lose to UCLA, who make whatever argument you want about resurgence, fired coach, they were still 0-4 and lost to New Mexico, got killed by New Mexico State, San Diego State, Utah, killed, and
Killed.
then they got killed, and then Penn State got killed basically by
Yeah.
UCLA.
The final score doesn't show the whole game because the whole game you're
Right.
like, what? I mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's insane. I still love that you said like that little thing that's saying they got fined $30 for rushing the field. I was like, oh, poor
Oh.
UCLA.
Yeah.
But like I cannot buy into a interim coach making that big of a difference. So
Yeah.
something has to be wrong with Penn State too. And at least I appreciate that some of the narrative is not just, oh, well, that must be UCLA is good. It's like,
See how
no, I mean,
see how
I don't
deep it is?
like, oh my gosh. Like if we're gonna bet that, then I don't even know what we're all doing here anymore. The Big
Yeah.
12, just throw your hands up in the air. Let's go start our own playoff.
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah.
Other thing, Miami looks good.
Yeah, Miami looked really good.
Cincinnati upset Iowa. I
Cincinnati's
picked
been
that
looking
upset.
good. You
It
did.
wasn't the one I decided on here, but I picked it and I was like, all right. Actually, technically it wasn't an upset, I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't
I don't think it
remember.
was. It
But I
wasn't.
think mentally it was an
We all
upset.
knew that it was kind of an upset.
Yeah.
Which speaking of, we have several of those this week where I was like, really? Okay, all right.
Yeah. Oh, and
Um,
then just we'll
Iowa
touch
State.
on
Mhm.
Vanderbilt for you. They
Thank
look,
you.
hey, they kept it close.
They looked good.
They look
And the
good.
thing is, I felt like my expectation for Vandy was that just keep it close. Like we probably know you're not going to win. If you make us really like surprised, I think another like like a repeat on last year would have been pretty incredible. I think they would have shot to the
Mhm.
top 10. But
Yeah.
they're still ranked because I think they're good.
Yeah.
But
We'll
yeah,
see future. Oh, sorry, we gotta talk this out. Texas
I was
lost.
Texas. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I
Oh my
mean,
gosh. So I first of all I want to say, and I know you're not gonna believe me, I almost picked that. And like literally seconds before the game started, I switched it to what did I switch it to? What big loss? It was that was not. I switched it the Miami Florida State because I was like, well, first of all, that's gonna throw Jared off because I've been talking about Miami winning. But
that's
I went
true.
against my better judgment on that one. But I had Texas picked as a loss. And I don't know why. I just kind of felt like Texas, are we really sure? Are we really bought into that?
We aren't.
And again, I think what's hard about this is this narrative still is out there. Like, well, then is Florida good? And I was like,
Right.
I mean, when is this going to stop? I don't know. Like,
Well, the thing is, it doesn't mean Texas is bad.
well, it
It
doesn't
just
have to
means they're not
mean, yeah,
playoff. Like they're
yeah.
not whatever. And Florida's not playoff. And also, what does that mean for Ohio State now? That they barely got by Texas in week one.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I,
week one's week one. Everyone's learned stuff, but still, like, they
really, we're
barely
not
got
going to
by
learn anything.
Texas.
We're not going to learn anything about Ohio State until I think the Penn State game. I think that'll tell us what we need to
And
know.
even then, who knows now?
Well, let's say they sneak by. All of a sudden, I'm just
Yeah.
like, are they really ranked number one?
I
I
think
don't know.
there's more. This is the most I if people were realistic, this is the most parity there is. I've been saying this whole
The
season. Like
most.
there is even Ohio State now. I don't feel like it's far and away. I think their schedule makes them look far and away the best.
Well, and that's where it gets tricky because what's hard for a team, let's even just say they're the best by far, you know,
Hmm.
they don't have a schedule that helps them prove that. And so it
Right.
doesn't necessarily prepare them. for the playoffs to the extent of like they're not going to be playing these tough, like gritty teams that are gonna, you know what I mean? That really
Yeah.
test their caliber. And I think there's a like the gauntlet they would have to go through that other people have to. And I think that's what make it like right now. I have so many questions about the Big Ten, and
Yeah. And
I don't
SEC
know.
too. It's not like
SEC, mm-hmm.
I've been saying it. It's not like there's you got your top two easy. They're gonna
Yeah,
get there. Maybe one gets upset, but they're still gonna get there. It's question marks. And I like that, but I think with the history, especially in the last 20 years of college football, that's not the case. It's we know who's the top team. We
yep,
know who's going to be there. We know the top three or four that are going to win, and
mm-hmm.
we don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's better, but I think it hurts the Big Ten and SEC's, stranglehold. I mean, they're still strangling holding it, but maybe it's a little looser than like,
Well, and it opens the door for the first time ever for other conferences to come in and be like let's even just say Memphis makes a huge, like a deep run. All of a sudden,
yeah,
it's like, all right, so what's this conference name?
so what? Yeah,
American, is it?
yeah,
Anyway, like, but I love that's what I love about the parody aspect. I mean, it's hard for those if you're a Bama fan where you're like that. I count on the one thing I count on is like death, taxes, and my team winning.
yeah,
And so it stinks for those people, but I'm like, it's so nice for like the rest of the fan base that actually we get a chance to think that we even have a shot. Because I'm like,
uh,
really,
yeah,
since like I'm talking BYU, like the 80s, that's never been within range for us. We've never been a
yeah.
part of a playoff game. And so, and unless you're like part of the SEC and or top of the Big Ten, you
You're right.
haven't seen a playoff
Yeah,
game in so long, which
yeah,
means your fan base checks out around November, which means ticket sales are bad. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for college football in general because I think
yeah,
all of a sudden it's like, wait, do I care? Hold on, I care.
yeah.
And
I will
yeah.
say though, it might be a tough transition for those traditional like teams like a
Mm,
USC who's like, oh well, we lost once or twice, season's over,
so
we're
we're
not
out.
going to the playoff.
Yeah.
But it's like, hold on,
No,
it's a
but you
12
can
team
still make it.
playoff. Like
Yeah.
hang around. Like people need to get those top kind of blue blood teams need to get used to the
Yeah. Like a nine
idea
and
of
three
we
might get
might
you in.
lose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And that's shocking for some people. Yeah.
yeah. But I think it's much better. Yeah, you have a chance to your
Mm.
point. So
So what do we think of Iowa State losing?
I feel I forget what I said, but I feel like I was just kind of like I'm not sold on them. Like I don't feel
They
like
haven't
they've
really
done
proved it yet.
anything.
Yeah, I think that's what we were talking about. Like, okay, cool, but also what have they done? Like,
Yeah.
and
And
so
again, I think they're
yeah,
a good team. They're a
hmm
solid team. They're just not a top 20
top
team or a
tier.
top tier
I
team. Yeah.
the but I have to give Cincinnati credit, man. They're starting to look like they have some arm power. You know who I'd like to
Yeah.
see playoff, or I don't know if they get a chance, but Cincinnati and Arizona State. Like I feel
That
like
would
they're
be
at the same level of like force right there.
yeah.
Um, I
They're both
mean, the reason
trending
I don't
up.
want to, yeah, I was like, that's why I don't want to play either of them as a BYU fan because I was like, ooh, yeah, we could be taken
Man.
down pretty quickly on that. And we get to play. Oh, we don't play Arizona State. We play Cincinnati.
But we
So
play Arizona, Utah, Iowa State, then like
Texas
Texas
Tech,
Tech, then
and then
TCU
Cincinnati.
and
It's
Cincinnati.
yeah.
And
Well,
I'm
and
like,
honestly, we could go
"Ooh,
3-3 in that gauntlet. We could go 0 and
okay.
6. We could go 6-0. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's why, again, it goes back to like the first time ever in my mind, I've been like, Camille, prepare for two losses,
Oh, easy.
expecting
Maybe
like,
more.
well, because before, like the standard of making the playoff is like, especially for if you're not whatever, you're like, once you have one loss, like kiss it
You're
goodbye.
done.
It's over.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, no, you'll probably lose at least twice, maybe three times. But then that might still get you to the playoff game and maybe even still ranked.
Yeah.
So I think that's for the first time ever. It's been like,
But
huh,
you compare BYU schedule where the next six games, you're just like, these are going to be good games. We're
yeah,
in each game. We could win each game. We could,
or we could
I
lose.
mean, hopefully you don't
Mm-hmm.
lose each game, but you could go 4-2. You could go 2-4.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then you compare that to an Ohio State, and I'm not putting BYU and Ohio State on the same level, but look at their thing. It's like, oh, tough game, easy, easy, easy. Tough game, easy, easy, easy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's
Well, to be
why?
fair, we thought a lot of those games that are in the six are were going to be easy. So all of a sudden,
A few of
like
them,
some of those, I'm
yeah.
just like, like I didn't expect Cincinnati to be a hard game. Like they weren't on my radar. And other,
right?
and so some of these
And
I'm just like,
Even
yeah,
Arizona
no,
this week, it's like that's not an easy win anymore. But isn't that the
yeah,
great thing about the Big 12? Like I know
yes.
people knock it, but it's like we have 8 games, 7 games in a row that it's going to be like
Mhm.
we gotta show up.
You know what? I heard for the first time a term that it used to describe a team. They called it a grenade team, and they were calling Oklahoma the grenade team because they're playing enough teams where even injured, they might not make it, but they could destroy their conference's chance,
Uh,
by like taking out enough good teams,
right.
And I was like, in some respects, I feel like Arizona State was the grenade team of the Big 12 last year. But they did enough damage to actually get themselves in. And so, like, it would be fun to be that team if it actually proved well for you in the end, or you surged at the right moment.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like
Oklahoma.
there's a lot of grenade teams in the Big 12. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good. It's a
Good
good
enough to beat
solid
you.
like I know they've said for
Yeah.
a while like, oh, it's the deepest conference. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, sure, sure. But I'm like, you look at
No,
it
for
and it's like
real.
for real, like, yeah,
It,
okay, you got some bad teams at
it's
the bottom, but you have the least amount of bad teams, I think, at the bottom, and
well,
a
and
big tier of
yeah,
good
the
teams.
only other conference I can compare it to is the SEC, where I feel like they have a small amount of bad teams at the bottom, but they have the bulk of them would be formidable on any given
Mhm.
day. And I don't think it's always been that way with the SEC, but they're starting to see what we're seeing at the Big 12, and so like I'm excited because I'm going to the Texas A&M Florida game,
Yeah,
which Texas A&M I think is one of the front runners for the SEC right now. But could they
I feel
lose
like I
to
haven't
Florida
heard
all of a sudden?
who have
Yes,
they
they could.
played. Who has
Yeah.
Texas A&M played? I feel like I haven't heard
They
anything
played
about them,
no,
and they've
they
just
played
like
somebody.
Notre Dame. Was it Notre Dame? I gotta
Yes,
look
they beat
this up
Notre Dame. They
now.
meet Notre Dame at Notre Dame.
I mean, that's a good road win for sure.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
road win. I don't think anybody's be like they're the best for sure, but they're definitely in the mix of who could be the best. I feel like that's what it's like being in the Big 12, where it's like there's a group of three or four that we're watching because we don't know who is the emerging team yet. And I feel like Texas A&M in the SEC is that right now. It's like they're part of the group. It's the Alabama, Georgia, we're not sure, Texas A&M,
yeah.
Tennessee, Missouri is
There's
supposed to be good, but who knows about that? Like I don't know.
Texas
So,
A&M, generally speaking, their schedule is pretty manageable for them. I
mm,
mean, there's
mm,
anyway, like they do have an LSU, they do have Missouri, rivalry game with Texas,
yeah.
but
I
anyway,
think for me, well, what was interesting about when I scheduled to go to this game, initially Florida was ranked and Texas A&M was not, which says a
mm,
lot for what has changed in 7 weeks.
yeah,
But like, because I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a ranked game, and now it's like, well, it is one way, but not the other, and it's flipped.
right.
So like, it's going to be interesting because I'm like, yeah, it just, I don't know, a lot can change. Well, and they've even talked about the like in the preseason rankings, at three of four of the highest ranked teams are not even ranked anymore.
Texas
Like,
was number one. Penn State was top five.
yeah,
Like they're gone, which is
yeah,
why preseason rankings are the worst. Like,
a joke.
and the fact that Notre Dame's still ranked, like,
I
and people
can't.
are like, they found their foot, and like, you still have 2 losses. Like, you need to prove it a couple more weeks before you even get back in. Like, how are you? Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Texas has 2 losses, they're out. Uh,
Well,
Penn
but
State has two
really,
losses, they're out.
they're out.
Like,
Well, Notre Dame's only big game left is USC, and even then, I'm like, you see, USC could lose enough times before they get there that it doesn't matter. You
right?
know what I mean? So it's going to
Yeah,
be an interesting, and we haven't even gotten to this week, but like, I
I
think
know. Sorry,
this is exciting. No, 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 no. This is exciting. I think for just, I think this is exciting for football.
it
But like,
is
because
great.
last week I'm like, I rolled the dice on Virginia. You rolled the dice on Cincinnati, I guess. And then
Cincinnati-ish. Yeah.
something that didn't work out for me was Wyoming. Oops. And Florida State work. To be honest, I was like, out of any upset, Florida State, I was expecting more out of them. I have to admit, for being a home game, I was pretty like, okay, well, I'm done with
Yeah,
thinking they're good. And then yeah, I don't know. It was a good Saturday. You know what the
it's good.
biggest, craziest win was? Washington. The
Oh
Washington
yeah, I
Maryland
thought they
game.
were
All of a sudden,
done.
I was already set on being like, all right, I lost how many points that was. And then all of a sudden I
Yeah,
saw that it was green. I was like, what? It went from like 20-0 to like
Yeah,
24-20.
same.
Like it's crazy. So
Yeah,
anyway, all right. Well, I'm gonna pull up our
this
little thing for
week's.
the week. So let's chat about this week. So, all
Okay.
right, you see what I say? So
Yep.
Indiana, Oregon.
I mean, I I mean it should be Oregon. I'm still unsure about Indiana. Oregon had that even though Penn State lost on the road, I still give them credit for that Penn State win, double overtime. But I've had questions about Oregon kind of all year, like
Wait, are you
how
talking about the Oregon win? Indiana didn't play Penn State, did they?
no, sorry, Oregon over Penn State. My bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Um, I think this will be a good prove it game because they're both coming in. Are they both undefeated?
I
Um,
think so. Yeah, because
so
Indiana
yeah,
has a loss, neither is Oregon.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't put them at 10, but
No. Well, and what
yeah.
shocked me too is like I feel like this isn't giving Indiana any credit and also not taking into account that Penn State just lost. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, yeah, 10 seems too high for me. Where's the other one? It has
Un-
a at
Unless
8. Oh, still at 8. It's high.
unless you think Indiana's had the way
Because
someone
you're
at work put it, they're like, oh, they played a bunch of basketball schools, Indiana State, Kennesaw, Old Dominion. Like, yeah,
okay.
okay.
That's true.
So
Yeah,
I'm
they play Illinois, which was their like best game so far. And they
and
destroyed them.
Illinois was, yeah, I don't know. I think Illinois is still ranked, which I'm like,
Yeah, how'd
anyway.
that happen? Well,
But yeah, it'll be. I think we'll find out about Indiana. I do
I
think they've
yeah,
gotten here by virtue of their schedule so far.
I agree, 100%. All right, Nebraska and Maryland. Well, Maryland again. Speaking of like
They
the
kind
game
of
that was
blew it.
like, wait, what? I was pretty impressed with Maryland up until they lost it last week. So I think Nebraska has an edge on them based on the fact that they played Washington too, right? Both lost to Washington, but I felt like Nebraska's fight, like loss was harder fought. Oh no, it wasn't Michigan. Sorry,
No,
Nebraska played
Michigan.
Michigan. They
Nebraska,
played
yeah,
Michigan.
lost to Michigan.
Um,
Yeah,
so I feel like Michigan was the better loss out of the two.
yeah.
Um, so I think
This
I
is
would
an
favor
interesting
Nebraska.
one. Yeah, I'd probably go Nebraska too. And
Yeah.
I think the common theme is going to be I don't want to rank any of these high, but you're going to have to rank someone high.
Well,
So who
and
do you
also
trust?
I'll even expose my bias here, and this goes back to the same thing we keep. I don't really know anything about Maryland. I lived in DC for a long time, and Maryland, even there, we're like, oh yeah, I guess we could go to that football game. I went to Navy games, but I did not go to Maryland games, and so, um, yeah. So I don't. I think because I don't know anything about them, it's easy to pick Nebraska because at least we've known Nebraska has been good in the past. But that might be a bias that's worth looking
But
into.
that's a
Hmm.
historical bias because
That's
when
what
you
I'm
say
saying.
good in
It's a
the
bias.
past, it's like the
It's
90s,
like the
early
90s.
2000s.
Yeah. So I'm like, I think it goes back to like, if I don't know, I normally pick my bias. But I
Yeah,
think this could be a game where it's like, but they looked decent last week.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
will say I think Nebraska's this is their best year, and I'd have to
Yes,
go back,
agreed
but I
for a
feel like
while.
they look a little better now. Are they the old Nebraska of old? No, but
No,
like they're actually competing.
I
So
agree. I agree with that. I agree. All right, Arizona State and Utah.
good
Oh,
game.
man, who do I want to win? That's a different
Who do I
story.
want to win? Yeah, or,
Well,
I
what's here's what's shocking. I'm sorry. I cannot understand how Utah is actually picked in this because they have not won a home Big 12 game at
yeah,
all. Zero over the
true.
last however many years. So
Last
we're
year and
gonna
this
rank them
year.
at an 8,
Yeah,
and then also on the other matchup predictor, it's a 10. Like that's where I'm just like, okay, I don't know. Gives Arizona State some credit here, but
this is a big biased one, I think. And again,
yeah,
I think Utah is a good team, but they kind of got exposed by Texas Tech, which I know people were like, oh,
yep.
well, that means Texas Tech is good. It's like, great. Yeah, I agree. Cool. Texas Tech
Mhm.
is good. But I kind of said this at the beginning. Like, I think once people saw how the quarterback plays for
Yeah.
Utah, they were able to defend it better.
Mhm.
And like,
Well, they the
he was
match on the
new.
line. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
I think
Well, yeah.
this will be a good one, but I don't get how high Utah's ranked in
No,
this.
in fact, okay. I mean, it's hard because this week I'm like I'm already predicting like 5 upsets, like because I do think. I mean, the one thing that Arizona State has that I feel like Utah doesn't have is I feel like they have a lot more veterans at play because yes, they lost Scottaboo last year, but like they still have. their quarterback,
Love
which
it. Yeah.
yeah, Levitt, I feel like it's always like, is he a Heisman contender? I don't know, probably not. Maybe so. I don't know. So he's been on like the drop it list for a long time, but then comes back and forth based on a good week. So if they if Arizona State shows up in the way they've been showing up in the last couple of games, this is one to watch. I think
Yeah.
because Utah tends to get overconfident. I
Oh
think
man.
they're at least humble enough to think that I don't know.
Yeah.
I would hope they would prep with some humility. It might be a bit of a reach, but like I don't know. So yeah, for me, this is like a one. But then again, so are a lot of these. You're like you
So
said.
are a lot of these. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Anyway,
Um,
okay,
let's
Georgia
see.
Auburn.
I mean, I honestly, if of the three above, I'd probably put Georgia
Put
above
this,
Auburn. I know Georgia lost,
yeah.
but I think over Auburn, they should get it.
Well, and this is one I'd actually feel like again, maybe it's my bias, but I put high. I put it at 10 because
Yeah.
all the ones before that, I don't feel like those are tens. So
Yeah.
maybe this one goes a little higher. And what's funny about this one's on the matchup predictor strategy, it goes lower. So um,
Interesting. It is
I
at Auburn.
it is
I
at
mean,
Auburn. I feel like Auburn's. I don't even think they're a grenade team. I think they're a team that tries hard and they can beat the lower half of the SEC. I don't think they can beat the top half. And I
yeah,
think that Georgia's in the top half. So
yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
yep.
Alabama, Missouri. I mean, I want Missouri to win, but we'll see. It is at
It's at
Missouri.
Missouri. It
We'll
is.
see. I think Missouri's been getting they haven't been getting hype, but they've been getting respect. So I
Yeah.
think this will be a big,
Prove it game.
okay, prove it.
Yeah.
If you win, and then what happens to if Missouri wins, what happens to Alabama if they're a two loss? I'm
Oh
sure
dear.
they're still top 20 because it's the
Of
SEC.
course. Yeah.
And they're a good team, but I do think Alabama wins this. And I would be willing to put them a little higher, like not a 10 or a 9, but like if I'm
Hmm.
moving some of these other ones down, maybe
Yeah.
inch them up.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. I think I agree with you on that. I don't again, this is no disrespect to Mizzou because I know you went there, but I don't know what they've done yet. And I guess I'm just a little confused by the respect because I'm like, there's other teams that I feel like deserve it. And not that I
Yeah,
don't think most teams deserve respect, but I was just like, wow, cool, I guess, question
yeah,
mark. But I also think this goes back to like the SEC is kind of grabbing for anybody that even looks like respectable to be like, okay, you're in the conversation. You have to be I think I'm like, are they going to the place where it's like, okay, you lose because Alabama needs to win?
yeah,
Wouldn't put it past them.
yeah. I wouldn't.
But
Yeah,
I don't think that Missouri would just lie down and take it because I feel like, to your point, I feel like they actually, I would put them in the Nebraska category where it's like they're looking better than normal. Um, have they really proven much? No, but I also think that they're playing better than I think I would normally, and that's probably why they're getting the respect they're getting.
yeah.
So,
So we'll see. I think this will be a good one, but I'm looking at Missouri's wins and they're not great.
mhm. Yeah.
And Alabama, I mean, their best wins, Georgia and Vandy. It's funny to say that Vandy's a good win, but yeah.
It
And
was.
then but Alabama lost to Florida State, who got demolished by Miami. So there's that
Yeah, it's
whole.
true. It's true.
Um, anyway, all right.
Okay. Iowa State and Colorado.
I think this one got harder with Iowa
Yeah.
State's loss because
Yeah, I agree.
Colorado was in the game for BYU. They were in their game last week, like
Yeah.
leading. Who they played? TCU. So
Hmm.
they're there, and I think watching them against BYU, it's like I said this to someone at work. They have the talent. They're not putting it together consistently.
But yeah, I was gonna say they can't round out a complete game. So they'll have like a
Mhm.
good quarter here, a good quarter here, moments, but they can't string it together long enough to actually get a win. And that's what's at some point they're gonna find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Hopefully
I'm
it's not.
sure
And I'm glad BYU already played them because when they do
me
find it,
too.
I think they're going to be good. Good.
Yeah, I agree because I feel like well, maybe next year and the year after, I think what they're trying to build over there is respectable too. But yeah, I think for the first time, Colorado, I was like, okay. I mean, 14 in the first couple of minutes of the BYU game, I was like, ouchie. I mean, that was hard to watch. And I was wondering if it was a fluke but they did decent against TCU last week.
Hmm.
So Iowa State, though, this is one where I do think they're going to win, and I actually think this is pretty low out of all the teams that are kind of like on the borderline. I'd probably put it higher because I don't think Colorado has put something together yet. But I'd be curious to see how they come back out.
Hmm.
Is last week a deflating win for them, or is
Yeah,
it going to encourage them to be like, oh heck no, this is one
yeah,
we're going to be an 11-1 team, you know?
right. Yeah. How
So
do you respond? Yeah.
yeah,
And and it's just I think from here on out, any Colorado one, it's just like a watch out. Like we can
like
beat
it's like
you.
Arizona. It's like Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can beat you if you decide that you don't want to show up and play
Yeah,
today. So like,
exactly.
yeah. Michigan and USC.
Interesting one again. I think this game will tell us something about each team. USC is getting hype. I think it's been quiet hype. It's getting louder. Michigan, I feel like I haven't heard anything about. They're ranked. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So and maybe when I say USC's hype, it's not like hype like top team. It's just like, hey, we're doing okay, but they had the one loss. And anyway, I
yeah.
think this will be a good one. These are the type of games though I hate because this is a Rose Bowl game. This is a
Yes. Yeah.
postseason bowl season game, not a middle of the season game. This is why I hate the realignment because it's like, wait, what? Why is UCLA playing Minnesota? Why is USC playing Michigan now,
Yeah.
But
It's like the Champions League in the middle of the
yeah,
Premier League, just like in the middle of the yeah, it feels weird because it feels like it should be a big game just by nature of like
the
if these two
names,
teams are playing, they
yeah.
normally were playing in high stakes games. But I don't know. Like and wait, hold on. I don't see that USC is ranked. Am I looking at it wrong?
Yeah,
I am
no, I
looking at
guess
it
they
wrong.
lost. I thought they were, but I think they must have dropped out. Let me see who
What did they
they
lose
lost
to?
to Illinois last week by two
Oh,
points.
well,
So they
that'll
dropped,
do it.
and they were on the cusp anyway, so it just bumped them out when they lost.
Yeah. Well, in Michigan, okay, who have they beat? They beat Nebraska and Wisconsin, but I heard
And
Wisconsin
everyone's
played.
beaten Wisconsin.
Oh, sure. But somebody said, "Oh, but Wisconsin's looking better." I was like, "All right, okay. Whatever narrative you
Oh
need to tell
man,
yourself. Okay, fine."
Wisconsin's
Um,
looking better.
so
But
so I'm just like, okay. Yeah, I feel bad for USC. I think if I know USC at all, they'll come back with some sort of vendetta. It's going to be at the Coliseum.
at
So
Coliseum, everyone's like, "Oh, their offense is great," and I was like, "Okay, you got a lot of yards, but you also haven't really played
then
anyone." Illinois
yeah,
was your first tough game.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, I think so. The fact that USC is selected, that was kind of a surprise to me if they're not even ranked, but they're putting a lot, I think they're placing a lot of weight on the home game for
Yep.
that. Because I was like, Michigan's ranked number 15, and then USC is predicted to win as a
Yeah,
non-ranked
there's a
team.
few of
Wow.
those.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a few of those this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So on to TCU and Kansas State.
TCU, Kansas State. Kansas State, I feel like just can't get out of their own way. Like that first
It's
game
pretty
messed
rough.
them up that they lost to Iowa State. And
They just
I'm
haven't found their
I'd
footing. Yeah.
I'd be inclined to put TCU to win and move them up a
Yeah, I
few
agree.
spots here.
Yeah. Because, yeah, really, yeah.
TCU
The
lost to
only,
Arizona State. They had that game too, and they kind of just
yeah,
lost
it
it
wasn't it
at
by a field
Arizona State.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
and
think, yeah, go ahead.
Kansas State's just a train wreck. I think they can't. They're
And
good,
TC,
and then
yeah.
they lose it at the end.
And TCU, if they play well and they this is encouragement to actually continue to play well, they need this game. They need this game to go
Hmm.
into the qualifying aspects of like, okay, to try to just only be like a 11-1 or 10-2 team. They
Right.
they only have one loss. So if they can continue to win, and I think they have the impetus to do that. So I'm with you on this one. Where is it on the other side? A one? No. I would
Nah.
I would probably switch out some of those ones at the
I mean,
top
it's
on the margin predictor.
At Kansas State.
But
So I
nah,
wouldn't put it way high, but that counts for something.
like a
But
seven
I'd
at
move it up.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially because you're like, you need this week, you need some teams where you're like, I'm pretty sure that they're going to win because a lot of these teams could go either way. So, anyway,
I'm
now we've
moving
got
stuff
our
around that I
buddies.
normally don't.
All right, good. Noted. Noted.
Okay.
Anyway, BYU in Arizona.
I'm nervous for this game, and we're projected to have rain in Arizona. There's remnants of a tropical
Oh
storm or
no,
hurricane coming up from Mexico, so it could be a messy game.
might be delayed
Um,
even. Yeah.
could be potentially, but
Oh
yeah, I
gosh.
think this will be BYU's schedule has been really nice for them ramping up. Like each game is a little harder than the next. So
Yeah.
this follows that trend. Like, hey, you kind of were not kind of they were very messy against West Virginia last week. It's just, like they controlled that game, and the score is just like, oh, like
Well, I feel
what
like they
happened?
beat themselves. They would give up in the red zone, or they would,
Four,
so,
yeah, 14
yeah,
points came off an intercept like turnovers in
interceptions.
the red zone, basically
Yeah.
the opponent's red zone. Um, so I think BYU could win this, but I think Arizona could win this easy too. So it's I would keep
Yeah,
it low.
I would keep it low too. Yeah. I want to say though, this could be sometimes when teams are like, oh gosh, we have all the, I mean, because if I'm Arizona looking at this game, I'm just like, oh man, I really want to win this. So
Hmm.
sometimes it's easier to come at it from a like, I'm not ranked and I have something to prove,
Hmm.
rather than I have to remain proven, you know.
Yeah.
But I do think weather's going to probably play into it. So we'll have to see. But
Um, Also looking at Arizona's schedule though, it's not they lost to Iowa State, who now it's kind of
mhm.
like, okay, Iowa
Yeah,
State's a good team.
right.
But they kind of got creamed too.
Yeah,
And other than that, I mean, they beat Kansas State, but again, everyone's kind of beating Kansas
yeah.
State. So they don't have the strongest thing, but BYU also doesn't, besides that win
Either.
at
Yeah.
Colorado, Colorado is
Which
BYU's
wasn't
best win.
expected to be a close win anyway, Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I
it
think we'll
we'll
learn a
see.
lot.
We
Hmm.
will
And
continue.
then there's Red
Also, will
River.
sorry, last
Oh,
one. Will BYU overlook it and for the Utah game next week, the next week? So they got to stay focused.
yeah, they got to stay. And not, to be honest, I almost would be like, don't lose any of your people because that's the other thing. Are our defensive like guys coming back?
I
I mean,
haven't
that,
heard one. One I think will. The other is the question mark. I haven't heard anything on.
and part of me is like, why don't we rest those guys up for Utah?
Yeah,
Like
just get
just because we
just
know
win
it's
it.
going to be
Beat
a
Utah.
scrappy war. It's going to be a scrappy war. It always is.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's just beat Utah.
Yep.
Anyway, but sorry, one more other thing. Arizona beat BYU last year, so that at least BYU, yeah, they
Arizona
did.
beat BYU last year.
It was Kansas
No,
and Arizona, I thought.
Arizona State in Kansas. BYU lost to last year.
Oh, okay. Wait,
Yeah.
oh yeah, sorry, we lost. Oh, the Arizona State. You're right.
Yep.
Okay, then I retract that. Moving on.
But
Red
BYU
River.
has beaten
Mhm.
Arizona like 3 times in a row. So
Yeah. Oh gosh.
uh,
Okay.
there you go.
Well, there we go.
They're due. They're due to win.
They're due
Arizona
to
is.
win. Okay, Oklahoma and Texas.
I mean, it's almost a flip-flop of the start of the season. Oklahoma's
Well,
six.
look at the
Texas isn't
money
ranked.
line. Like it's
It's oh, it's so dumb.
I'm like,
It's
wait,
so
what?
dumb. What does that
Anyway,
mean? I don't know what
I
that
don't even
means.
know what that means. That means just bet either way.
Even.
Anyway,
Um,
so yeah,
I don't know who Oklahoma is. Their best win
without
is
their
Michigan.
quarterback. Yeah.
And, and
Is he
I
coming
mean,
back though?
are
I
they
heard he's coming
good?
back for this game.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't, and we now I feel like we don't know Texas. What are you? Like,
But out of the two, I would put my money on Oklahoma. I mean, I think, and I don't think I would put them this low. Texas did not do well against Florida.
but it's rivalry. I feel like I've been screwed over
Yeah,
by
it's
this
true.
rivalry many times by who was supposed to win, like
Yeah,
big time win. Like it would not shock me if Texas won this, even though it's ranked Oklahoma sixth. Um,
yeah.
but again, I'm looking at the Oklahoma schedule here. Nothing. Michigan's the best win, and
Well,
that's
but
it.
Michigan's ranked number 15, Jared.
They weren't ranked at the time.
I know.
But I do think there's a bit of a like recent historical bias for me. Like Oklahoma last year was atrocious.
Yeah, they
They
were
couldn't
terrible.
win. And it's like, did they really bounce back this quickly to be number six in the nation?
I don't, okay, here's the thing. I don't think they're that high, but I don't
Yeah.
think they're as bad as Texas. And so at
But is
least
Texas bad? They almost beat Oklahoma or Ohio State.
I don't feel like Texas has gotten better from that game. Let's just say that.
That's true. Okay. That's a fair
So
way to put it.
that might be their best game so far,
Yeah.
despite losing and winning other games. So Um,
But remember, they killed Sam Houston,
it's true. And congratulations to them to have bragging rights over that.
and
But
I
yeah,
go ahead. I was
good.
looking lastly. I was looking at the bottom 10. ESPN does a bottom 10, and Sam Houston is ranked the worst team. And I'm like,
Oh,
and this was the team people were like, see,
oh,
Texas got their
finally.
groove back. Yeah, see, to Arch got 5 touchdowns total. I'm like, yeah, what's the competition level, guys?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like a local JV or community college team. Anyway,
yeah,
I
sorry.
and
Okay.
that's where no, I think so. I don't know. It probably yeah for me. I don't know why because Oklahoma at the beginning of the year is like really. I don't know what have they done other than suck last year. And then but I feel like they've been somewhat legit. I mean, I was more cautious for them when they lost their quarterback. So I don't know. Is he coming back for this game? I heard that he might.
I don't know.
If he comes
I'm
back, then put this high, in my opinion.
I'm not ready to call them legit. And even with a
Okay,
win over Texas, I'm not ready to call them legit unless they completely obliterate Texas.
which
And
could
even
happen.
then, I won't call them legit. I'll just be like they're a strong contender at that point because
What is
their schedule
uh,
doesn't show legit. I'm going to their schedule now.
what are
Okay,
their
we
games?
will find out if they're legit. They actually have a schedule. They're going to be Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, LSU.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so good luck
So
with that.
at
That's probably why somebody called them the grenade because they could actually if they're good enough, but not good, like better than,
yeah,
they could really mess some stuff up in the SEC. But if they're really good, they could
yeah.
really catapult themselves.
So I'm okay with Oklahoma being 6 because they'll be tested. It's the
Yeah.
Ohio States of the world where it's just like you're up there,
So
you have no
yeah,
test, so you're never going to move from one. But I would hope if Oklahoma runs this, if they run the table, they should be over an undefeated Ohio State. Easy, easy,
that's true.
easy, easy.
Well, and
Because
here's
oh
something. Go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead. You're good.
No, I was going to say, so something I was thinking of when you were talking about this is I'm like, the real mark of a quality number one team is that they have moved all around in the top 25 to get to number one.
They
It's not that
work
you were,
earn their way up. Yeah,
yeah, because I'm like, it's not, I mean, if you've been at number one and never ever like vaulted or varied from that, then have you played teams that have even challenged you? Because no,
right.
these days with the parity, like you're gonna have to have people doubt you at some point in the season.
Yeah.
And so
Eh,
to your credit, like if they have you're right, they have the gauntlet to go through to actually prove that they belong in the playoffs. And
like
if they can go through it, great.
if Oklahoma gets through that, well, and that's the thing with a good conference parity is you know who people are by the end. So
Yeah.
like if BYU goes undefeated, they should be top five. If
Yeah.
Oklahoma goes undefeated, they should be top five. If
Yeah.
Ohio State goes undefeated, you could put them top five, but I think they'd be 5, 6, 7 because they only
Yeah.
have like 2 tough games, whereas you got Oklahoma and BYU who would be like, hey, we've played people, like we've
Yeah.
been tested.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the
anyway,
same thing the SEC has been saying about themselves for a long time. The reason we deserve to be here despite even one or two losses is because we had to play a lot of people to stay up and get up here.
yeah,
So if that's true for them, it has to be true for other people.
but
It
it
just
depends on how they make up the schedule because you could easily look at Georgia's schedule and be like, oh, you're playing a lot of like the bottom feed, like and Alabama. Oh, you're really not playing anyone. But then you got Oklahoma over here, who
mm-hmm.
kind of luck of the draw or bad luck of the draw just has this tough schedule. So
Yeah.
um, anyway, good
Yeah.
good angle. I've never thought of it really that way. So fun
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, and maybe I'm saying this because I really do kind of appreciate the come from behind kind of rise to the top, almost like the Arizona State story last year, which I
Yeah, yeah,
still
yeah.
think they beat Texas in that game, whatever.
Oh
But
yeah.
like, so like, yeah, it'll be. I'm actually excited for the playoffs this year, out of more than any of the other years, because I'm like for the first time ever, it's really going to be something where the call or the conference championship really does mean something, and all of these games. I would expect them to be closer than what some of them were last year. Because last year wasn't
Unless
it a blowout with Oregon? Like I'm just
yeah,
like
the
this isn't even a fun game to watch.
first rounds
Yeah,
were like blowouts. Unless the college football playoff committee screws it up again,
Yeah,
or
well,
does
it's
we
very
should see their
possible.
bias, you know. But I think to your point, it has the potential to be great if they do it right, and that's why you really need auto bids, even auto bids for each school. Hey, you get two, you get two, you get two, or you get one, you get one,
Yeah.
because Big 12 has more
Oh,
parity.
yeah.
So it's unfair that it's like, oh, sorry, you got two losses, but look at our Big Ten schools over here who ran an easy schedule and have one
And then
loss or
three of
no
them are there.
losses.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well,
So,
what
yeah,
about if they did like as part of the round one, the conference playoff teams were round one? Like that could be an interesting way to
yeah.
get there.
Or I've heard it like, okay, you get your top two, and then you have a
Hmm.
playoff with 3, 4 or something. Like
Hmm.
if you have two auto bids, those two
Hmm.
don't even play in like almost a playoff type thing. And then
Right.
you get your 3, 4 to play to kind of
Oh,
get
yeah,
one
that could
more
work
tough
too.
game, one more resume game or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know. All the people with money will not figure it out. They'll do what they want to get more money.
To get more money.
Yep.
Well, it should be a fun week. And I think
Yep.
between, like, really honestly, we're starting to see all these games mean something and
Yeah.
lots of different upsets. I mean,
That
again,
is
I'm
nice.
almost wanting to watch UCLA's game this week just to be like,
Let's see.
all right, let's really, who are they playing? I don't even know.
I
But
don't know.
if I was playing UCLA this week, I'd be like, maybe we should run an extra lap or two. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
just to make sure.
We
Anyway,
got to
but
show up, guys.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
All right.
there we go. Talk to you
Good
later.
stuff. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.